What's up, guys? It's a bright and early morning. I guess it's not so bright. It's pretty ugly out, but gotta work on the 240 again today. It's pretty early. I just want to knock out the work that I have to do because it's supposed to rain like 100% today, so I want to get it knocked out before it's pouring because we don't have a garage, as you can see. Pretty much the car is leaking coolant from the freeze plug. And if you guys don't know what that is, I didn't know what it was. Basically, on the side of the motor, you have these plugs that pretty much, supposedly, I don't know how accurate this is, but in the olden days, they put alcohol instead of coolant, and pretty much alcohol freezes. So when it go through the system, if you're in like a cold area, it would turn to ice. And these freeze plugs were put in to let the ice like pop out or whatever. So I don't know how accurate that is. Don't quote me on that. So it's a little dark and you guys probably can't see it on camera. I'll try and get a better angle later. But down there on the block, there is a giant hole right behind the starter in the side of the block. And it's just leaking fluid. You can kind of see it there. Not really. But pretty much it's leaking a lot of coolant. So I gotta take off the starter today, replace the freeze plug. Did some research. They are 40 millimeter freeze plugs and they look like this. Basically you just tap the old one out and tap these new ones in. Put some silicone on the outside to seal it. But it's super annoying because like I get worried that the car's gonna overheat because it's just losing so much coolant. So thankfully this car doesn't actually have real coolant in it, it's just distilled water for now. But if I was spending money on all this coolant that I'm losing, I'd be fucking broke. So gonna knock that out. Anthony was the homie and went to Wolfrain yesterday, picked me up a GTR bumper. So if it's not raining too bad, I'll try and install that too. And probably fix my horn because I need to put a piece of metal on the end of the hub so that it gets contact with the power and the horn works. Because right now, like, it only works sometimes because the wire is just chilling there. I want to get it done properly, so I need to hurry up before this storm rolls in and knock this out. So hopefully I can get an angle of the fucking freeze plug for you guys, but I'll start with take off the starter because it's right behind the starter. And once that's out of the way, then you guys will be able to see it probably. Here's a better angle for you guys of what's going on. So there's the starter. Gotta take off the two wires right there. And then that bolt right there. And should be good to go. I believe there's a fourth bolt, but I'm not sure right now. So we'll figure it out. But you can kind of see what I'm talking about. See all that like rust and stuff? Right up there, right behind the starter where all that shit is coming out. It's on the side of the block. But that's the freeze plug that's failed, and I'm assuming that the previous owner, like from what it looks like, they put like that's like styrofoam stuff, like that spray on styrofoam stuff. That's what it looks like they put just to seal the hole because they didn't want to like get under the car and do this. So shout out to them for improper fixes that I have to now fix. Whatever, life of car owner, life of enthusiast. So we'll take out the starter now. So I got the bolts off. So I got that one off. Got the two wires off. Just make sure you unclip this wire. And make sure you disconnect the battery before you do this, obviously. And then there's one more starter bolt right on the top here. Can't really see it, but it's right here where my hand is on top right here. So the only way I found to really get it is with a long extension and a U-joint up there. Come on, let's focus. So there's the end of the socket, there's the U-joint, and there's the starter. Here's the extension I had to use to get that top bolt. Long extension to a U-joint and a extended 14. Did the trick. I don't know how I'm gonna get that back in there later. But now you guys can see. But yeah,
What a mess. Looks like shit. Actually, I don't even think they put a thing on it. I think it honestly looks like just kind of like festered and rusted out. I don't know. We'll see. I'll take it off. Hopefully I can set the camera up so I can show you guys. Oh my god, it's just like spewed all over me. What I'm gonna do now is try and clean this up a little bit. I don't want to leave all that rust and gunk and shit. So, all cleaned up for the most part. Now I've got to punch this out. Pretty much what you do is you take a flathead, hit one side of it, and punch it so it pivots. So it pivots down or pivots up, and then you grab some vice grips and just pull it out.
Sorry guys, so I'm stupid and I don't know why I didn't think of this, because I was gonna do the thermostat and water pump in another video, but probably should do it in this video just because I'm dealing with the coolant. Might as well do it all together and just burp the system once, call it a day. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'll try to do it quickly before the storm rolls in. Alright guys, I'm back. Gonna scrape off all this gasket, clean up the old thermostat housing because that's super grungy and dirty. I've never done a thermostat or water pump before on any car, so I'm learning right here on video with you guys. Don't follow anything I'm doing. Like, if I fuck up, I'm trying my best to like do it properly, but I don't know how well I'm doing here. But I still gotta run upstairs, grab a couple more parts that I'm forgetting, and then I'm gonna clean off all this gasket and gunk. And then we still have to do the fucking freeze plug. So much work. Alright, BRB. So here's just a shot of everything that we're putting in today. Again, ISIS thermostat, it's cooler. ASN water pump. Mishimoto liquid chill. 50-50 blend. 40 millimeter freeze plug. And the thermostat housing gasket. Hopefully this all works. I'm gonna be pissed off if I do all this work and it still fucking leaks or I still overheat. We still gotta bleed the system, put everything back together. Alright, so I got most of the silicone off the water pump. Probably gonna take some time clean that one a little bit better. But pro tip, make sure you remember where you put all your bolts and things. So put all the water pump bolts right here, all the fan ones right there. Those are for the radiator, so it saves you time and you're not looking all over where the hell you put the bolts and you don't misplace them. I usually like to keep them somewhere in the engine bay just because it's easier. I don't have to like put them on the floor and possibly knock them over, kick them or anything. But yeah, so clean that up. Also, here's the new gasket and the new water pump. The gasket only goes on one way, and you put the gasket maker, you want to make sure you put that on the engine side only so that it seals properly. Okay, so I let my phone sit on the charger for a bit. Got the new stuff on, water pump, thermostat. Just gotta put everything back together up front and then punch the hole into the freeze plug. And so it's just draining out. It was pretty rusted or pretty malleable, I don't know. I'll inspect it when I pull it out, but I barely tapped it with a screwdriver and it just exploded, so that's a good sign. Hopefully I can get it out, no problem. Just waiting for the fluid to drain out because I gotta get under the car, and it almost drained on me, so it's 100% the problem of my leaking issue. So hopefully now that I have a new thermostat, new water pump, and no more leaks, hopefully it should sit cooler, and actual coolant too, because like I said, all I had in here was distilled water, and that's a good thing because I would have been wasting a lot of money had it been actual coolant. But yeah, coming along, and it's still not raining, which is good. It's like on the verge, like it's teasing me, and it's like, am I gonna rain? Am I gonna rain? Nah. So here's where we're at now. I'm gonna plug my phone back up because it's dying from recording so much. So I'll plug it back up, and I'll try and show you the install of this freeze plug. So here it is. It's a 40 mil. There you go, 40 mil copper freeze plug. The ones on the block are 40 mil, and the ones on the head are 32 mil, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe they are though. And pretty much once you pull out that other one to install this, just put some RTV on the outside like always. Clean up the block with like some sandpaper or Scotch-Brite. So I gotta run upstairs and grab that, and then you just want to use the biggest socket to like fill the area, and this one's a 27 mil, I believe. Yeah, 27 mil. You just want like the biggest socket to fill the area, so that when you hammer it back in, it all goes in flush and even, and not like lopsided. So that's where we're at. I'll show you once I get this installed. Alright guys, so I finally got it out. It's hours later. I started at like 10. It's like 1:30 right now, so been working on this all day. But not specifically just the freeze plug. I did all the other stuff like you saw. But yeah, here's the old one. I pretty much had to like cut all the way through it. So took the screwdriver and just hammered into it, create a little hole, and then I just kind of progressed it bigger, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to like tap it, and it's supposed to like pivot, so then you can just pull it out. But that didn't work. This is like super old. The screwdriver didn't work, so I had to just Dremel it, honestly. When in doubt, always cut. So I Dremeled the side of it. Until it was pretty much non-existent, and then took the screwdriver and just hammered it, and it pivoted, which is awesome because now it's out. Now I don't have to worry about this giant hole in the side of my block. So there it is. I still gotta clean it up. There's a bunch of shit in there, so I can't even reach it. Can't reach it from the top, but there's a bunch of shit in there. I'm gonna sand it down a little bit, make sure that there's no like big holes in the block or anything around the area. And here's the new one. That's a comparison. But pretty much gonna clean the block and then put some silicone on the outside of this and then hammer it in. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it shouldn't be as bad as taking it out, honestly. And then once that's done, put the finishing touches up here, connect all the lines and hoses and stuff, put coolant, burp the system, call it a day. So I'd say that's pretty good. I'm not sure if it goes in any more than that. It's pretty flush, but there's like a little bit of a lip. I'm probably gonna hammer it for a little bit more. It's kind of a bitch to put in just because there's not really any space for you to swing a hammer in here, and I'm just kind of using extensions to kind of force it in there, because when you put the 27 on there, it's pretty deep in there, so then you can't really swing a hammer at that because these lines get in the way. So I've pretty much been using a bunch of extensions to get it to seal in there, but I think that's pretty good. I don't know if it goes any deeper. I compared the old one and the new one, and the new ones are a little bit, they have a little more depth to them, so it might just stick out that little bit. But I'm gonna try and hammer it just a little bit more just to be safe, because I don't want to ever do this again. I want it to be in there, stay in there, and be solid. So yeah, here it is, guys. So for the sake of time, I just went ahead and put everything back together. I didn't record it, but if you were watching the video, you should be able to, and you took everything apart, you should be able to put it back no problem. Oh, I guess I should put that bolt on, huh? For the starter. Just making sure I have everything put on, and then Gonna turn on the battery and then put some coolant in and burp the system. Starts up fine. Now I'm gonna add the coolant in. So I was gonna do it the proper way and bleed the system, but the previous owner broke the stud. So I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. I'll just leave the radiator cap on, keep filling, and just let the bubbles pour out. Make sure to keep the heat on high, and we should be good. Water seems to be getting to boiling temps. There's enough water and coolant in the system, so I'm gonna give it a test drive, see how it goes. So the test drive was pretty successful or unsuccessful. I don't know how you want to look at it. Pretty much I hopped on the freeway, and the temperatures were going up, spiking, so immediately took the first exit, routed my way home, was turning off the car at like stoplights, putting it in neutral when I was just sitting, just anything to keep the car from overheating. The heater was on full blast, and where we live there's a lot of hills, so I was coming up the last hill to like where we live, and the heat was just like all the way at the top, like it was overheating, and I was like, fuck. So I just like posted, threw it in neutral, turned off the car, flew up our street, and then the heat like started coming in. Like I could feel the heat from the vents, which means that it was working, which means it was burping. And so as soon as I pulled into the driveway, like the heater's working strong, like all the vents have a lot of heat coming out of them. The temperature's not going past halfway, and it's working fine. So I'm gonna let the car cool off and then probably go get gas, because as you can see I don't have any gas. So probably do that and test drive it again, and I'll let you guys know. But I'll let you know in the next video, because this one's probably pretty long already. Hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and post up any comments on the process of what I just did, and let me know if I did it stupidly, let me know if it helped you, just let me know. I'm open to criticism. I want to make these videos better, so just let me know, guys. Thanks.